Okay, in COVID-19, we heard about all the corona viruses news through the communication, means with the help of the televisions, internet, radio, social media, newspaper, magazines, etc. Okay, so the classification according to the number of the persons involved in the messages communicated, in that we studied about the intrapersonal communication, interpersonal communication, group communication and mass communication. Then we started about the next, the classification based on the medium used to transmit the message, means in that two types, the verbal communication and the non-verbal communication. So the verbal communication means communicating with the medium of spoken words. It involves speaking, listening, reading, and thinking. Verbal communication is of the two types: it's a written communication and a spoken communication. In the written communication, it is a practical to send institutional policies, office orders, notice circulars, and accounts related facts and figures. It is from the higher authority to downward. So then the newspapers and magazines. Okay, the newspapers and magazines is another form of the written communication. As previous we newspapers and magazines is discussed in the mass communication. Like that only, the newspapers and magazines also included in the verbal communication. Then spoken communication. The spoken communication occurs during group discussions, meeting, face-to-face interactions with one or more persons, and also during speech, lectures, so on. The interactions through spoken words convey the message to the audience immediately, and the communicator gets instant feedback whether the message has been understood by the listener. The next is non-verbal communication. Okay, in that non-verbal communication, communication is exchange of informations without using the language of the words. Okay, in that non-verbal communication, it is a means sharing of the ideas or the message from the sender to receiver without using the language or the words. It means wordless message conveyed through the all other acts. Example: gestures, body movements, facial expressions, tone of the voice, style of the writing, and signs, etc. The sum of the non-verbal communication techniques are as follows: gestures, facial expressions, smile, eye contact, touch, postures, and gait and silence. Okay, look at these pictures as like we get idea about the non-verbal communication. Some are the okay. Look at these facial expressions. So happiness. First one is the happiness, confusion, sadness, surprise, anger, and excitement. These are all the non-verbal communications in the facial expressions. Then the gestures. Example of the some gestures: nodding head gently, listening attentively, maintaining eye contact, blank face, biting one's nail. Then smile. Smile also non-verbal communication, means it is a positive symbol of the communication. It's the positive attitude, politeness, and acceptance of the others. Then the eye contact, touch, then the silence, all are the non-verbal communications. Okay, in that class we discuss about the classification of communication according to the number of the persons involved in the masses communicated. So first one, intrapersonal and interpersonal, the group communication, mass communication. The next classification is classification based on the medium used to transmit the masses, in that verbal communication, in the verbal, the written communication, and spoken communication. The next is a non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication, in that the wordless communication, means gestures, expressions, smile, touch, postures, silence, eye contact, all are these used in this non-verbal communications. Okay. The next class we discuss about the Classification based on the flow of informations through the channels of authority is a vertical and horizontal, means a formal communication and informal communication, and according to the way, means one way communication and the two way communications. Okay, thank you.